Today I want to share with you from 2 Corinthians 9, verse 7, where Paul writes these words: "Each of you must give as you have made up your mind, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." I alluded to this verse in our worship service this past Sunday. And giving, living generously, is one of the ways that we reflect God's presence and Christ's presence in our life. Because we worship a generous God who gives to us far, far more than we could ever repay. Jesus gave his life. There's nothing more than any person could give than that. So whenever we start a discussion about giving and our giving in our lives or giving to God, we can never outgive God. We can never give anything that compares with Christ giving his life for you and for me. And so Paul here, this verse comes in the context of a section where Paul is writing about an offering and the church giving and contributing. And you notice the three things he says. You must give each as you have made up your mind, which means we should give with some thought, with some prayer, with some consideration. What might God be asking you to do? How much or in what ways is God asking you to give? We have to make up our own mind. It shouldn't be a flippant, casual, spur of the moment, oh, what have I got on me kind of decision. And whether that's giving to the church or giving to a special offering or giving in any way in our life, we want to give intelligently and wisely and in a way that reflects our priorities and our faith and our values. And that includes even in our wills and our estates, that we want to use our mind and think it through well. Paul also says not to give reluctantly. Sometimes we can feel like, well, okay, here you go. I'll give you something. And think about that. If someone were to give you a gift that way, oh, it's your birthday. I guess I have to give you a present. So here it is. How enthused would you be to get that gift? Not that just say keep it. I don't even want it if you're going to give it to me like that, right? So Paul says not to give reluctantly. He also says not to give under compulsion. Under compulsion, meaning like, well, I guess I have to give you this gift because if I don't give you this gift, something bad might happen, or you won't be my friend anymore, or you won't talk to me, or there'll be some costs socially. So I feel compelled, like, I don't want to give this to you, but I feel like I have to. Well, we don't, again, you wouldn't want someone to give something to you that way. God certainly doesn't want us to give something to the Lord that way. And that's why Paul says, you need to make up your mind. Don't give reluctantly. Don't give under compulsion or feeling compelled. God loves a cheerful giver, someone who gives back to God out of all the abundance that God has given to us. And as I've said before in one of these videos, I think, if God gave you 10 apples and said, you can have all 10 if you just give me one back, I think all of us would say, that's a great deal. I'll take the 9 and I'm happily give you one back. That's what tithing's about. That's what giving is about, recognizing we can never outgive our generous God, and we are to give cheerfully out of gratitude and thanksgiving for who God is and all God has done for us.